Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this another brand new day. I do not have a hamster this morning. Both little Gojira and little Dr. Snurf here are both sound asleep, and so I don't just want to be vicious, mean, and cruel. I mean, might makes right. Ultimately, violence and the ability to cause violence and the threat of violence is what makes everything in the world go round and round. You know, the bullies are in charge and the rest of us are left to sift through what's not claimed. And so I don't like being that. If he's asleep and she's asleep, well, no, might may make right, and if this was out in the wild, I mean, they'd just be lunch, but there's no need to enforce that at all times, so they are asleep, and while I'd love to show you one of my hamsters and show them off this morning, I'm not going to enforce the might makes right. I mean, nature may be red in tooth and claw, but part of civilization and partaking of civilized society is to put the claws away and not do that. So
Death is silent, painless. I didn't know what happened. I was suddenly standing above my body.
thumbs up for that. I mean, I'm actually kind of hearing little Dr. Snurf digging around, but to get into his house, I have to get into the whole thing and halfway tear it apart so I can get to him, and I don't want to do that. He really has a really neat little... The cigarette carton, you get into the carton, and then you go through the chewed up paper in the hole, and then he's got his nest down below, so he's got tissue that's in his nest that comes up into the hole, so he's got a nice cave double deck type of system. And if he's not out and about, the only way to get him out is to tear it apart and to take him out. And that's... he's spent a lot of time making that up. I feel bad every time I tear it apart, so I'm not going to do that. If he's out and about, I grab him. You know, I grabbed him a couple times last night because he was up and my hamsters are holding. And most of the time, they don't mind. I mean, little Thigmo freaks out still because he's nervous, but as soon as I get hold of him, he calms down now. So he's more like a guinea pig in that he can't get past his instincts while he's being captured. And since you're a prey animal, being captured means death. Even though your guinea pig or your hamster knows your smell, knows you're not dangerous, they can't always break instinct. And so, they freak out until they're actually picked up. Then it's like, okay, then they're fine. He's like that. Whereas, of course, little Gojira down here, when she sees me, she comes running to the side of the cage because she wants me to put my hand down in there so she can start climbing. So, takes all types, and it's a good thing. I just like hamsters so much. They're just so awesome. I know I talk about hamsters a lot, and it is goofy. I mean, I'm 56 years old, and hamsters are just tiny rodents. I mean, traditionally in the United States, and maybe that's one of the big problems, because we look at things like small rodents, mice, hamsters, stuff like gerbils, as starter pets for children, when we really shouldn't, because these poor critters, they take a lot of work and a lot of responsibility to keep happy and healthy. So it, you know, make them more the people who can actually spend the time and have the time on them, instead of making them starter pets because it's okay if they die. Nothing's okay to just kill because, well, I wanted my child to have a pet. Well, I bet that pet wanted to live too. So, again, though, that's my might makes right feelings on things. It affects my whole feelings about everything I do, because It's not just might makes right is bad against small rodents. It's might makes right is bad against people and nations and organizations and ethnic groups and other groups that aren't ethnic, but you know, there's groups. And just because people are different is no reason might makes right is good. I don't... Excuse me. I did some good reading and clearing my throat, so if that's all I've got, then that's a good thing. A lot of my world viewpoints are kind of utilitarian, but I think flat utilitarianism is evil. And people who advocate flat utilitarianism need to be carefully boxed away and taken away, because humanity doesn't need people like that. Because it's like pure utilitarianism that gets talked about and pushed means that if you have a child that has any sort of genetic defect, whether it be autism or a missing arm or whatever, that child is aborted, because the money spent to keep that child alive is money that could be spent keeping a larger number of people alive. And while that is true, that's true of everybody. I mean, the resources spent to keep me alive could keep a whole bunch of other people in much, much worse situations alive. But strict utilitarianism, I mean, that's just treating human lives as numbers, and that's wrong. Any lives, any sentient lives, including hamsters, because all mammals and birds, I don't know. They're still out on fish, but some things like the octopus, they are sentient as we are, just different brains. Smaller brains, smaller personalities, smaller thoughts, if any. You know, they have a dim sense of I. But past that, not real thoughts. But they're still sentient. So, strict utilitarianism is not good. I think we need to spend in a utilitarian way, yes, trying to help as many people as possible with the resources that we have, but to minimize the hurting of the others. So hurting people, you know, making sure that you don't have to spend money keeping less than optimal people alive through their lives so that others can live. That's just wrong. I mean, these people that you'd be going, well, let's take this away from them for this. It's like, no, these people are also part of us. You don't take away from us to help us. That's just hurting people. So there's got to be a way. I don't know how. I'm just a person, and as I've stated before, all my beliefs, all my thoughts, all my feelings are just my opinions and should be taken with the grain of salt that they are worth. I am not an expert in anything. The weight of my opinions on stuff like healthcare and the human body should be given slightly more weight, because I worked in healthcare for 15 years and studied healthcare and the human body for all those 15 years. So I'm not an expert, but yeah, I kind of know what I'm talking about in that case. But when I'm talking about economics or socio-economics or just socio-political stuff, I only know what I read and see. I am no expert. My opinions on these things they're not worth anybody else's. So, thumbs up for that. So yes, my thoughts on utilitarianism. I'm like the author Dean Koontz. If you ever read any of the books that he's written, like since the book TikTok, I read interviews on him after I read the book TikTok. That was a big turning point for his fiction. He made one of those, hey, I can do this kind of steps. And suddenly he realized there was a huge vista open, and he started running with it. And that stuff has been just a blast since then. Before that time, I would like one book entirely, and the other book that he wrote was just, oh God, don't even bother. But since he hit that I can do this point with TikTok, everything has been worthwhile and worth it. But his views, he has made utilitarianism some of the big bad guys in his books. He hates utilitarianism and those people that are for it. And thumbs up for that. I don't always agree politically with a lot of the people that I follow and watch and read. I mean, I love Robert Heinlein's stuff, and I actually have somewhere, I used to have like 6 books that were signed by him. Now I've just still only got my copy of Stranger in a Strange Land that's signed by Robert Heinlein. But while I think he's an awesome author, and some of the people in his books make points that you could base your life on, in real life, the guy was he liked fascism and was more than a little bit on the racist side. And so it's not always possible, but if you can separate the author, well, the artist, we'll put it that way, the artist from the art. I mean, like, an author I read, Adam, I can't even think right now. It's like Adam Troy Castro. There we go. His views are like caught up in these things, like with Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby, the man, is a serial rapist and worse. Has been his entire life and is still unrepentant about it. But some of the comedy that he has done is so incredible that to just throw that out because of the guy, I don't know. And some of my own memories, as he says, he loves the comedy of the guy at the time, but he hates the man. So how do you do? How do you do? How do you, that was great. How do you do? Well, how do you do? So how do you reconcile that? I mean, I've got memories of listening to Bill Cosby's albums and laughing hysterically as a child. But holy God, Bill Cosby is a monster. I mean, I remember all those Fat Albert cartoons where he did the hosting of the thing and then would talk about what the moral of the story. Yeah, and all that, was busy back behind the scenes being a serial rapist. So how do you separate the artist from the art sometimes? And can you, and should you? I mean, in a way, it would be horrible to lose out on the past. But good golly, Miss Molly, Bill Cosby just destroyed his own body of work. I guess that's his own, yeah, I mean, it is his own fault, duh, but I mean, I just hate seeing the past gone. And there are other artists that are like, I can't remember, I think it's like Cole Porter. Back in the 90s, people were, I'm getting the name wrong. It's some singer like that who was a wife beater, horrible wife beater, just beating women behind the scenes all the time. So their point was just throw out all that music because the man is not a good man. And no, he wasn't. Can you separate the art from the artist? I don't know. Remember, my opinions are worth not much more than anybody else's. In fact, probably a lot less in cases like this. Anyway, though, I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. Thank you all so very much. I'm not reading them right now. I'm just thanking you for having left a comment. I'm going to thumbs up them later, each one I read, and answer as many as I can, but for right now, I'm just thanking you for having left a comment. And, denture adhesive. Where's my tissue? That's not it. I lost my tissue. Now I just have to wipe off my shirt later on. Dental adhesive. And if I mispronounce a username, I'll have to what? If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker. We're just not good at that. And it's a range of 20 to 25 because even though I'm counting in American Sign Language on the fingers of this hand, this thing is recording in like 7 frames per second. So hopefully it's, from what I can see in the display, so hopefully it's actually working. But let me just open up my Chrome because I can't even remember where I was in my little spiel about all this stuff. So we have Charles Reed, thank you very, very much. And Chris RTJ, thank you, greatly appreciated. Hawkwinds, thumbs up and thank you. Potatotron, thank you very much and good to see you in the comments. Ice Damon, thumbs up and thank you. Zanarchy Militia with an X, ooh. And better than most people, hopefully Pepita Abeln is close, hopefully. And Georgia Dog Forever, greatly appreciated. And Kathy Kitscat, thumbs up and thank you. Mum Gay, or your Mum Gay. Okay. And thank you very, very much. Hacker Lastat, thank you. And Gabe Streeter, greatly appreciated. Kiza Inskip, thank you very, very much. And Elvis Buturic, thumbs up and thank you. Sebastian Ferris, greatly appreciated. Vance Campbell HD, thumbs up and thank you. Pandora NYC 1, thank you very much. LG Daniel, thumbs up and thank you. Chris with an apostrophe, thumbs up and thank you. And Evan Alexander, greatly appreciated. And Denial, thumbs up and thank you. Then we have Gromsterino, thank you very, very much. Nick, no, I already said that one. So Captain Moose 74, or did I? We'll end with if I said it twice, then I said it twice, and if I didn't, Nicolas Philippe. Thank you very much, each and every one of you. I can never tell with my head. I mean, I don't know what I'm thinking, but thank you very much for getting me out of this head, into the world, dealing with real people. It is appreciated. Thumbs up and thank you. If you can check out my various links, I have Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com, NearlySeniorCitizen.com. If you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. Now, if you cannot donate or you simply do not donate, I do take all good wishes and deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest, so thank you very much. And, of course, if you could toss me a like, that would be very cool, as I do appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. A definite thumbs up. And if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be very cool, greatly appreciated. Now, I would understand if you did not wish to. I mean, but if you are down with it, I will do my very best to keep you entertained from now to the literal end of time. And that's a very good thing, as long as the end of time is not like later this afternoon, because after all, if I have a heart attack and die, well, that's the end of time for me. Well, anyway though, good golly Miss Molly, I've gotten everything said and done. How did I do that? I really rushed through stuff. If you could check out, like, I'm partnered with HumbleBundle.com. If you could check them out, they do all sorts of software stuff. They have, you know, ebooks, e-comic books, development software, Android, iOS, PC, and everything you buy, they give a portion of that money. You send them to charity. And if you use the link below, they send a portion of that to me as well. It has to hit a threshold, and I've only been paid twice in the 2+ years I've been shilling for them. But if you could, that would be awesome. Don't feel obligated. I don't feel entitled, but it would be cool if you could check it out. Thank you very, very much. Well, I doubt I'm going to have a reaction video today. I do have a game video already recorded. I just need to edit and render. So you have a good day today. I will see you on the flip side, and I've got that wrong. I will see you on the flip side, and that, my friend, is a very good thing. It is 19 minutes and 30 seconds into this. I could stretch this out and try and make it 20 minutes, but if I did that, who would even watch to the very, very end? I know 99% of people have clicked off already. So have a good day, and I will see you on the flip side, my friend.